Well, last upgrade, going to be swapping out batteries. They tested fully charged, but these were the original batteries coming into snowmobile and hunting season. I didn't really want to take a chance, to be honest with you. They tested fully charged, but when I took it to AutoZone and we tested each battery independently, it did come out to being a failed battery, but the truck was starting and feeling okay. But I didn't want to take a chance, and honestly, for 120 bucks a battery, these Costco Interstate batteries, I feel like it's not worth taking a chance. Just put some new ones in and get it done. I know some people don't like running these, but I figure there's a reason they put these like felt insulators around the battery. So I'm gonna put it back on and get this bad boy installed. All right, got both the new Costco batteries installed now and gonna fire it up, put both of the felt covers back on. Figure it comes that way. I did end up finding to put the battery in. The way to do it is obviously remove this screw, loosen that top one, swing this over, pop the hinge for the strut out of the way, loosen this, and I could kind of weasel the battery between there. But curious, I'm gonna fire this thing up and see if there's any difference in how easy it starts up. Let's see. Let's fire it up. Now, I don't really notice any difference, but curious what the voltage will be. Got the gauges back up, 13.8 volts for the battery. No lights on the dash. I can't tell any difference, but this was more, honestly, is preventative maintenance. Getting into wintertime, not gonna take a chance getting stranded, snowmobiling, dirt biking, hunting out in the middle of nowhere and having bad batteries. And considering the fact that both these batteries did test fully charged at AutoZone, but when they put a load on it, both these batteries died. So they're 5 years old. 240 bucks from Costco, worth the update. So one less thing to do. A little bit of a turn of events. As you can see here, I got some Fox shocks that are specifically valved for the Thurin front coils and the rear shocks with the factory coils. So basically what happened is I'm gonna have to change out the 2.5s that are up front. The shocks are great, but the problem is the setup I bought, unfortunately, will only work on a 3500 Ram with the leaf springs in the rear. And I didn't want to mix and match front and rear, putting 2.0s in the rear and 2.5s in the front. So I decided to step it down and just use the standard 2.0s, which are valved specifically for the Thurin springs on the Ram 2500 with the Cummins. I'll be curious to see. I don't plan on doing much off-road, so this shock setup was definitely a little bit of overkill, but I got a pretty good price on it and I wanted to try it. I have a feeling, I talked to the guys at Thurin, I have a feeling these shocks are actually gonna work better on road than these, because these are specifically valved for the Thurin front springs that I actually have on this truck. So I'm gonna be real curious to see the road comfort. Off-road, there's no question the 2.5s would be better, but for the little bit of overlanding I'll be doing, I think this will suffice. So here kind of shows you the difference in the rear shocks. So these rear 2.5s are specifically made, the orientation of the reservoir and the eyelet. If you look, this is a through bolt, whereas that's a stem construction. That is for the 2500. This is for a 3500. Something important to know, you can learn from my mistake, that unfortunately this setup will not work on a Ram 2500 4th or 5th gen with coil rear springs. So you can kind of look at the difference in the valve body size. If we compare these two, I mean, it's a big difference. I mean, it's 2.0 versus 2.5, both rebuildable. This is obviously a much higher in construction, but look at the diameter of the shaft. I mean, this is a really beefy construction. But like I said, for what I plan to do for this truck, I think this is gonna suffice. And as you can see, these are custom tuned for Thurin specs. So I think this will be awesome. This setup though, I'm gonna be listing for sale. So someone's looking for a setup, I'm gonna be selling this full 2.0 setup or 2.5 setup. This is like almost a $4,000 set of shocks. So it'll be pretty incredible, but this will work for what I'm looking to do. So I'm not recommending this method, but I'm gonna tell you right now, getting these things out on the top on a 2500 or a pain in the butt, and I had no plans to save these shocks. I'd rather just buy new ones. They're so rusted on the top of the stem. I just used the good old trusty Sawzall and cut the top right off of them. So if you live in a Rust Belt state like we do, I think that's the tool to use. Quit wasting your time with wrenches. Just saw the top of that bad boy off literally it's a 5-minute job doing it that way. I had no plans to save the shock, but you can see the difference in the shock construction. If you notice, the shock is actually going to be inverted because this is on the top side, whereas on this one, the cartridge, the body was on the bottom side. So I'm going to be putting a cap on the bottom to protect, salt and snow. I've got the shock boots for it, but you can see the construction's different. See a little bit difference if you go nominal for nominal. Actually, no, it is the same length. You can see eyelet to eyelet, but let's just see the difference in dampening. Push down on the top. It's a lot stiffer. So it should be, yeah, it's not a lot. It's definitely some, but I'm curious to see if it's a better ride quality. Okay, so got the rear Fox 2.0s with the Thurin valving installed. Now, believe it or not, this would be counterproductive to a lot of people, but I'm actually going away from the 2.5s in the front to the 2.0s. Like I mentioned earlier, the reason for this is those are valves specific to the Thurin springs, and these are more of a general valving for the Ram, which would be great, but I kind of want a full balanced system. And one of the other reasons why I don't want this sophisticated of a system is, number one, I'm never going to use it to the off-road capability. Number two, in the climates I drive in Michigan, salt, nasty weather, I have some worry. I've talked to Fox and they say there's nothing to worry about with corrosion of these, but I just feel like this is going to give me more grief than a simple shock like that for my needs and general towing and two tracking, nothing crazy off road. So anyhow, I'm going to be putting these up for sale. These things are literally like brand new. But anyhow, look at the difference though in the valve body between the 2.5 and the 2.0. I mean, it's substantially beefier. And look at the shock diameter. I don't know if you can see in the video, but it looks 50% bigger. All right, next step in the process, got the shocks done. Going to upgrade cargo lights on the rear third light and the reverse lights. The one thing I've noticed with the halogen bulbs in the Bighorn is the reverse lights are really bad. You can barely use the backup camera at night, and I've had some pretty good luck with the headlights, these last fit headlights in a few vehicles now. So I'm gonna try these in the, and I'm gonna replace these real quick. Super easy job, just 2 screws. These pop right out. There you go. The last fit bulb for 15 bucks. We'll see if it's worth it or not. See how much brighter it is. Way brighter. Totally worth it. All right, for the last modification, I'm gonna throw the step on the back corner of this truck. Finished up the shocks yesterday, upgraded the rear lights. Mud flaps are done in the rear. Now the last step is getting in and out of the truck a little easier. I definitely miss having the tailgate step on the Ford. And you can get these pretty reasonable actually on Amazon. This one had pretty good reviews, so I'll definitely keep a link below to this specific one. So if anyone's interested, and I'll see how it mounts up, make sure it's not a piece of junk before I recommend it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys some updates on a few things. One of the things I want to show, I've now been able to use this step. This is a really cool feature. I think this is like a Mopar knockoff. I don't know if this is the OEM one, but see if you can see how it attaches up under the frame and everything. But overall, all the quality, everything I was kind of looking at, it looks like a pretty decent product. It's extremely helpful getting in and out of the truck. I was thinking, I wish they made one for the passenger side also. I don't know if they don't do it, maybe because the exhaust being there might melt. But really happy with that mod. The other thing I want to show you guys is my homemade mud flaps. Like I mentioned in the other videos, I had to make these things because, I mean, I guess I could have bought some rock blocks, but I decided just to make my own. Just, once again, the whole purpose of this truck and everything I'm doing, this is trying to give everybody an option of a budget build truck. So trying to do the most you can with every dollar you got. And definitely with what's going on with the economy and everything in the world today, why not try to stretch a dollar? And that was kind of what I was trying to show with these mud flaps and just some of the modifications I made. But I've got about 1,300 miles I put on the truck so far. Some things I've noticed and what I'm happy with. I like these Falcon Wild Peak tires. Absolutely awesome. Happy with the ride quality, happy with the road noise, happy with the performance and rain and a little bit of off-road I've done. Now that we're getting some snow here in Michigan, I think we will get a great opportunity to try these things out in the snow as well. These rear tail light bulbs upgrades, huge upgrade, cheap. Seems like a no-brainer to me to do it. Rear step I really like. And then here's the one thing I didn't show you guys in the video. I thought this was pretty cool you could do this. So I'm gonna put a link down below. If you notice this fob, this has the tailgate drop and remote start. This is a bighorn, but this is a base bighorn. This truck did not come with remote start. And as you can see, I just had remote start working as well as tailgate drop. Now it gets caught up because of my silly tonneau, but anyhow, you can see it works. So I spent a lot of time reading on the 5th gen Ram heavy duty page, and I found out how you can add the factory remote start to a Ram HD truck. And this is how you can tell if this actually will work for your truck. So I'm gonna get in the truck here with the engine on. I'm gonna pop the hood, okay? And let's see if this works. Okay, see how I said remote start, cancel hood open? That's a good thing. So I'm gonna do this again. Now, see that little icon down on the left-hand side? Let's see, let me shut my door. There we go. See that? If you have a hood ajar icon right there, that's a good thing. What that's gonna tell you is you can, in fact, add remote start to your Ram heavy duty truck. What the guys were saying online is if you have that icon of when you start the truck, if it pops open, if your hood ajar light comes on, you have the module built into the truck for adding factory remote start and the tailgate drop. To make the tailgate assist drop, to make the tailgate drop work from the remote, you want to make sure you have the shock, the assist dampener built in and installed on your tailgate, because otherwise when you hit the tailgate drop, it's just going to slam down and could break your tailgate. So if you want to add that functionality, make sure to install the dampener on the tailgate. But what's cool is how cheap it is to get remote start added to these trucks. I got these for $52, 2 brand new key fobs. These are aftermarket. They don't see Ram on the back. It doesn't have the little Ram icon right here, but it looks literally identical to the factory key fobs on eBay. I found 2 of these shipped to my house, 52 bucks. Then I went to my local dealer and they charged me $70 to program the remotes and add the tailgate drop from the remote and remote start. I think for $125 to add factory remote and you're not doing some aftermarket option, I think it's worth it. Anyhow, I hope this is the kind of the last round of mods for this truck. I don't really plan to do anything more to it at this point. I'm happy with the suspension upgrades. I've now got some miles on these 2.0 shocks and the Thurin springs. Really happy with that. Happy with the tires, mud flaps. Next step is getting the sleds ready for wintertime. I'm gonna have some videos posting and kind of talking about getting some wintertime stuff ready. I got the Can-Am out the other day. We're actually gonna make use of the Yeti this winter, and we found playing around in the backyard last year. We let the boys ride around in the back, and I just tied this thing down in the bed of the truck in the bed of the Can-Am with some ratchet straps and got some handles, and just gonna make use of the Yeti this winter for a bench in the back. But we got this bad boy ready to go for wintertime. And if anybody's interested, I've got these Fox 2.5s for a Gen 5 Ram 3500. That's the key, not the 2500. If anybody's interested, send me your information. I'm happy to ship these out. I need to sell them. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope you find these videos insightful. Have a good day.